Morning. Got my exercising in the garage hat on this morning because obviously the garage is the same temperature as outside, which is pretty chilly this morning. But anyway, I'll spare you the weather report this time. So what's on my mind today? So I was thinking a bit about, there's two things really. So growth, your own personal growth, and also the importance of just taking a pause to draw a breath at times. So I think what I've experienced over the past few years when I've really been focusing on my own personal development and just finding out a bit more about myself and trying to improve myself as well, is that it can be really, really easy to miss the growth and the improvement that you're making. And that's not to say that you do a bit of growth and then you stop, although that can happen, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I think I had this realisation a while ago. It just came up in conversation in the house where my better half says to me, we were talking about how much people have changed over the past couple of years, and obviously a lot has gone down over the past couple of years in everyone's life, but she had made a remark along the lines of, "You've really changed over the past couple of years," and that was, I had to clarify whether that was a positive or a negative thing. I think it's largely a positive thing. That's how I'm taking it anyway. And I think it just made me reflect on the fact that it's very, very easy to miss these signs in yourself, and also, with the people closest to you as well, the people you see all the time. You will potentially miss things in them as well, positive and negative. But I think if you're trying to grow in some way, personally, health, fitness, it is really, really important to make sure that you're reviewing whatever it is you're doing. So just taking that pause to look back and compare yourself with yourself, which is really the only comparison I would advise that you make. Obviously don't compare yourself with other people, perhaps that's a topic for another day. But I love analogies. They just fit with the way my brain works really well, and they tend to be quite visual as well. So think about your hometown if you don't live there anymore. When you were there, you never really noticed any changes in the town. New buildings, changes to buildings. But if you only visit once a year or once every couple of years, it'll be really, really obvious to you how much things have changed. And that's just that lack of familiarity. So the more familiar you are with something, the more often it's in front of your face, the less likely you'll notice subtle changes. Similarly with people's appearance as well. So both yourself and the people around you, things can change so gradually that you don't even notice them. Whereas if you haven't seen someone for ages, so a lot of us have experienced that during the past couple of years with lockdowns and pandemics, and that we hadn't seen people that were previously quite close to us for quite some time, so you really notice changes in people, good and bad. And then the last analogy that I came up with was climbing the mountain, or the hill. So it can be really easy sometimes. The most recent example of this I found was we have the Eildon Hills just locally to us, and it's an absolutely beautiful area and there's an absolutely glorious view, but there's some quite challenging climbs up the hill, and so it can be very, very easy to miss the view while you're just concentrating on the slope that's ahead of you. So I think really the moral of my story today is, if you want to get the most out of your own personal growth, if you want to stay motivated, I suppose, even though it's not all about motivation, but you sometimes just need that little bit of injection of motivation. Seeing that progress that you're making can be a really important part of that. So you're really super motivated at the start, the motivation drifts away, and then it's kind of replaced by habit and discipline and doing things that you enjoy. But from time to time, if you're becoming a bit jaded, it's useful to just compare current you with previous you and just celebrate the progress as well. Because this is the other thing I don't do very well sometimes, is actually just take a moment to go, do you know what, you did a good job there. It's usually with me just, right, okay, that's done, on to the next thing. So pause, compare yourself with yourself, take a look back, see how much you've grown, and actually stop and take a moment to enjoy it. Okay, so I'm just trying to stop my dog from enjoying what I affectionately refer to as the poo buffet in the field next to our house. And on that wonderful note, I will leave you. Thank you very much.